Welcome back to Celtic, Paulo Bernardo. The Portuguese midfielder looks set to join this time on a permanent deal after being on loan last season. This is apparently going to be 3.5 million, which was already agreed earlier in the month with Benfica. However, the Portuguese giants have been smart enough to put a 30% sell-on clause. However, this is still a great fee for a player of his talents and the promising player that he can become whilst at Celtic. And that is that, originally we had the option to buy for 6 million in last season's loan deal, now bringing that down to a more reasonable price of 3.5 and a sell, and I think that's worth it. He's shown in big moments in derby days against Rangers. 3 out of the 5 derbies, he's had his say, he's had his moments in those games. The cup final, he grabs the ball in our own half, skips past Raskin, makes him look like a nobody, skips past a couple other players, and ultimately it leads into the final winning goal in the 90th minute. The game at Ibrox, again he gets the ball deep and plays an unbelievable ball, which what could have been a winner, however, Yang can't defend, and the Rangers get the moral victory that day in a free. And then the game at Celtic Park, the 2-1 on the volley from the corner, great skill and just great technique in general to score that goal. And he has got the ability for that. And if you look back earlier in that season, it took him a while to grow into the SPFL campaign, if we look back. And he originally was only trusted in the Champions League by Brendan Rodgers, and that is very interesting. Brendan trusts him on a higher level in the bigger games, and I think that kind of describes Bernardo last season. He showed up in big moments. It's now making that consistent. He wasn't exceptional in the Champions League, but he done decent, and that was enough to make people question of how's he not starting in the league. He's showing promising talent here. And then he grew across the season, goal against Dundee, and that's kind of where it started. Then it led into the Derby Day goal, and then, continued on that last half of the season. He was very good. And I think that, 3.5 million, great fee for his talents, and hopefully he does step up and becomes more consistent and makes that 3.5 million look like nothing, because I think off of last season, it does look like 3.5 million could be an absolute steal for the Portuguese midfielder, and he's a promising talent. Portugal papers have rated him for a while. He's always been a promising player, and hopefully does show that promise whilst at Celtic now looking to be on a permanent deal. However, Bernardo isn't the only transfer news at the time of recording. Celtic have opened discussions with Wolves regarding a loan deal or the potential loan deal of Hugo Bueno, and this comes from a BBC journalist. As someone who also pays attention to Wolves with being a Celtic fan, I just don't see this happening. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but I'm going to kind of have to, because I don't see Wolves allowing a talent like Hugo Bueno to go. He played 21 times in the Premier League last season, 21-year-old young promising player, and how long is Aït Nouri going to be at Wolves? Would you let someone like Hugo Bueno, who has a very promising future, it seems, go if Aït Nouri is going to leave? Aït Nouri was probably the best left back in the whole of the Premier League last season. And if Hugo was to go on loan, who would be the backup for Wolves? Matt Doherty playing out of position? Yeah, I just don't see it happening unless we were to see Wolves get linked to a left back. That's the only chance I think Celtic have, if Wolves bring in an experienced player for the back line or something. That's sort of the only chance. So don't want to put anyone's hopes down on the transfer, but I just don't see this as a realistic option. I do like how it does seem that we are looking at left backs, because we do need at least a good backup to Greg Taylor, preferably a better left back than Greg Taylor. So that's a promising start. Hopefully we start to see a couple more transfer rumours, as right now we only have one striker in the first team, so we have a lot of transfers still to get done, but hopefully it's the start of many rumours and many more players to come in. But welcome back to Celtic, Paulo Bernardo, and thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. Goodbye.